Okay, in this video we're going to look at Shomenuchi Ikkyo. Ikkyo just means first technique. It's generally one of the first things you learn, or the first technique you learn, and it's one of the hardest techniques. It's probably the last one you actually understand. So we're going to break it down, look at different bits. It's not just a case of twisting the guy's arm about. There's a whole lot to it. So when you practice it, try and find the internal aspects of it rather than the just using your upper body strength. So Aikido posture is basically here. Now, it's usually shown as a front-weighted posture, but the back-weighted posture here and the transition between the postures is very useful. Now, if you shift in a very strongly back-weighted position, it's easier position to find the correct way of standing. So, if you just sort of sit back any old how, the muscles here will start screaming for mercy fairly soon. If you can arrange your sort of hips and your bone structure so you're self-supporting, that's kind of like a good place to start, and that's how you can get a stronger posture from here. If you then transfer that feeling into this more front-weighted posture, this allows you to feel how to get strong posture, I think anyway. Maybe it doesn't, but that's why I think it's because this is more uncomfortable, it's easier to find a comfortable posture, it's more obvious. So once you've found this posture here, you can transfer it to here. So there's a tip in your pelvis as well. And that'll help your postures generally. I'm going to move from one posture into another posture into another posture. Okay, so I'm back weighted, it's like, fairly heavily back weighted because I'm going to move forward. I need to reserve this power. If I'm forward weighted when I'm doing this movement, difficult to move. So I'm going to back weight, put this strike in, and move. Okay, and I'll still be back weighted here at the end of this. Then I will shift into the front weight, and I will turn. I'll probably step forward as well, but I'll also turn here. This allows us to open this hip up more and lower this leg, so that Ikkyo is here. And then, because this leg is weighted, easy now to move into this posture. So each move is a flow between posture. It's not just a step, step, step. It's one posture, another posture, another posture. When you're moving from posture to posture, if you're moving correctly, the detailed parts of the technique, how you move your arms, how you're going to move, a lot of it tends to take care of itself. So instead of obsessing about the details, and Aikido, especially Wama Aikido, can seem very technical. But actually, if you just move correctly, a lot of the detailed stuff you have to think about otherwise actually just happens by itself, because it becomes a natural part of the movement and it becomes a logical thing to do. It becomes difficult not to do the correct movement. So by getting postures and movement correct, you can see the bigger picture of the technique, and you don't have to obsess about the small things, which are kind of distracting at the best of times. And then it leads into similarities between other techniques. And really, Aikido it's quite simple. There's not that many movements when you break it down into very basic movements. And once you can learn a few movements, you've got the basis of the whole of Aikido. Being simple doesn't mean it's easy or easy to learn, but it is in essence a sequence of simple moves. Shomenuchi basic is a bit confusing because Shomenuchi is a strike to the head. So if he's doing Shomenuchi, he will be striking straight down on the top of the head here, trying to push the head back or rick it sideways, not actually sort of bouncing off the top of the head unless you've got a weapon. But in basic Shomenuchi, I initiate the move, so I move forward to here. So what's that about? Well, it's a way of, I believe, of simplifying the move. So he is, especially for something like Ikkyo, which is quite a pre-emptive technique. So he is thinking about doing Shomenuchi, he's almost in the posture of doing Shomenuchi. He's just about to do Shomenuchi, and then I come in here. Okay, and that kind of fixes his his thought patterns and his position, so he's not sort of standing square on, ready to I come in here, he can do anything. So it sort of sets it up a bit. And that's really, as far as I'm concerned, how that works. It's just a simplification. He's trying to attack, and I preemptively attack. Because of what he's about to do, he's kind of restricted in his movements. So it's just a way of starting the technique. Now from here, he's thinking about Shomenuchi, yeah, and so he's in attacking sort of mode. I'm going to preempt. Now, you see a lot of moves where people sort of bring this back, or you kind of meet halfway in a friendly sort of way. Just going to fall a bit. I don't want to, end up here where he can just as easily take my arm as I take his arm. I want to be in a position that gives me a significant advantage. Now, everything I do is set to position me in the strongest possible position to give me the maximum amount of power and leverage against his minimum amount of power and leverage. Okay, and that's how I see how these techniques work. So the first thing I'm going to do, I won't give him any clues. I'm going to strike in. And it's quite like a medieval strike with a boar's tusk, where it's an upward strike, and you've got this shape like a boar's tusk, and it's striking forward. It's quite a powerful strike. Now, he needs to think that's going to hit him, and it will if he doesn't block it. Okay, so if this is weak, I'll crash through that, and I can strike here down my centre line, here quite in a powerful way, and then it's end the game. Game over, really. If he blocks it here, we're going to get a clash. Bang here, bang. That's fine. So to avoid that, I will now slide to the side, and this arm comes in. This one is the one that does all the work. So I'm going to come here, slide to the side, and here. This just captures there. From there, I'm going to grip here and here. I've got his off balance already. Now I've used like a Joe type thrusting movement with the posture here. This is very much like a Joe movement. And here, what I can add in, I can now drop the hips here to put some pressure on downwards. So it's like a sword strike movement. Now you can't really see this, but it makes it difficult for him to engage his backhand. Do anything. He can't really strike because he's having to use all his muscles to keep himself upright. Now from here, I simply turn my hips. So I'm going to step slightly forward here, turn my hips to here. Okay. The arm's going to come straight here, and I've turned his foot outwards a little bit. I've done a little bit too much because he's dropped all the way, so it's difficult to show the next bit. So here, I've dropped my hips on him. Now, even if he's not particularly off balance, I should be able to move him into the Ikkyo position quite easily. So if he resists that, I can just turn that with no effort whatsoever. Okay, let's do it again. Show you how much effort I need. Resist. Now you can't tell if he's resisting or not because it's just on video, but he is. I'll recover it. Right. Okay, so I'm using one finger. Now, how's that possible? I've got the world's strongest finger. I've been doing the exercise. No, by doing this movement, I'm using all these muscles here. He's kind of restricted to using his back muscles because he's slightly stretched. So I've switched off a lot of his muscle groups, so that it's easy now for me to bring him down. As we got here, his arm should align with my arm, while his arm bends here to give the maximum. Oh, you've got to come up with it. Yeah, so this locks him down. Now I'm going to take him off balance here. So I keep this pressure on here, and I'm going to hit him with my hips. Here, okay? I don't let him drop. If he drops, I will follow him. From here, I will now do it back here. So from here, come on. Knocking off balance, and then bring this leg up, and down here, okay? Now, I use my thumb as a stop against my leg, and my legs are in a slight V. So when this comes down, it stretches his arm there, and I roll his arm back slightly, so the way his arm bends is in line with that, okay? If you get any other angle, he can possibly break out. Now from here, I usually put a lot of pressure down so his arm goes completely flat, but his arm doesn't go completely flat, so to avoid screams of pain, I'll back off a bit. So from here, I just pressure down, and I use hand blade against the, it's just above his joint here, okay? And it's not particularly painful, it just pins him. It's more of a test of your control. Yeah, it's not about breaking his arm or these other ways of doing that. It's just pinning him down there so he can't move. So it's stretched out, pin. Shomenuchi Ura talked a bit about that on a previous video about Ura movement. So, coming here, down this side, I need to bring the back leg up here, slightly offline. So bring this up here. I now continue this movement, spiraling it down to the fall. I'm looking to do at least a 180-degree turn. Okay, so similar feeling to the strike. I'm back weighting. I'm going to move in, start this movement as this sort of hit starts to happen. I'm going to slide under it. Now from here, I grip the elbow, and I grip the elbow in the previous one as well. From here, if I get the angle correct, it's easy. If I get it wrong, it's a nightmare. So resist this. So if I just continue this movement here, keeping him on the bounds of a circle that's spiraling downward, it's actually quite an easy move, keep him away forward here. If I try and pull him or push him in some weird direction, it's going to get really difficult. All I need to do is just push. He's already off balance from that push there. I just keep that. I'm pushing him to the circle here. I'm not trying to pull. Pushing him out on the circle, keep him around. Okay. Here, shift forward. So I'm back weighted here. Move forward. You get this block. I shift here. This is back weighted, and then I shift forward. Okay. This slight forward shift, and it's slightly turning, stretches in here and takes his balance. I then continue this move, keeping the weight on this leg. Do the takedown. Okay. The finish is basically the same as the last one. So. pressing here, but not for basic technique. We usually omit the strikes because the strikes make the technique a bit easy to do, and when you're learning the technique you want a bit more, you want to be fairly stable so you know you've got the technique right. But there's possibilities of striking, go here, into the ribs. This stretches you now, stretches the ribs, bang in there, okay? As this comes up, you can make this like a hard here. You can also combine that as this comes down with this, okay, and then straight into the throat. That's not basic, but that's just a few examples of where you can get a temis in. Okay, so that's Shomenuchi Ikkyo, Omote and Ura. Okay, so hope you learned something. If you're not familiar with this style of doing it slowly, don't just dismiss it, have a look at it. Okay, thanks for watching and look out for other videos later on.